One of my greatest experiences happened after I had been in India. And I was coming back on the plane from India, and I love to make jewelry, and I had all my jewelry supplies and all my tools, and I'm making these beautiful necklaces on the plane. I used to give up-in-the-air discounts to the airline stewardesses. They would walk by me and they would go, "Ooh, nice," and I'd go, "What do you want?" I'll custom design it, and I'd give those up-in-the-air discounts and pay for my ticket by the time I got to the other side of the world. Anyway, one such time I'm sitting there after, I had been in India, and I'm on my way back to the United States, and I'm making my jewelry, and this woman comes walking by, and she looks down and she goes, nice. And she was a passenger. And I had specifically moved my seat so I could be alone. And she sits down, plop, right next to me. And we start talking, and she says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Making jewelry." And, and one thing led to another. And next thing I know, I'm helping her make 2 really bad bracelets for her 2 daughters. And her name was Ruth. And Ruth, I asked, "What do you do?" And she said, "Well, I have a organization in Bangalore that supports women who have been suppressed and raped and beaten." And I said, "Oh my God." And she said, "Yeah, we have about 25,000 women there that are part of this organization." And we keep talking, and by the time we get to our stop, we were in the middle of the world. She says, "Janet, do you think someday maybe you could teach this to my girls?" And I said, "Teach jewelry?" And she goes, "Yeah, could you teach jewelry making to my girls so they'd have some skill?" And I said, yeah, okay. And we switch emails and say goodbye. And I get back to the United States. It's right around Christmas time. And for about 4 days, all I can think about is Ruth and these girls. Can't stop thinking about it. And finally, I decide I've got to go back to India. I've got to go back and teach these girls how to make jewelry. And so I put all my jewelry stuff together. I buy this ticket. And I remember, oh my God, I remember this so well. I get on my plane at Cedar Rapids on my way to Minneapolis. From there, I'm going to Delhi. And when I'm on my plane from Cedar Rapids to Minneapolis, I have a complete meltdown. And all of a sudden, it becomes really clear to me what I had done. I had paid full amount for this flight, right in the middle of Christmas season. And I hadn't even gotten a hold of Ruth. And I think I'm going to go and teach these women how to make jewelry. I'd never taught anybody how to make jewelry. And all of a sudden I have this major meltdown. And I am like, "I cannot believe you are so stupid. You are so stupid. I can't believe you did that. How could you do this?" And by the time I get to Minneapolis, I run straight to a phone and I call my dear friend Radhika. I said, "Radhika, I can't believe I did this. What a dork. How could I do this? How could I buy this ticket? I don't even know if she's going to be there." And Radhika says one thing, "Janie, the force is with you. Get on the plane." So I got on the plane. I did exactly what Radhika said. Now, it was so interesting because the minute I took the first step on the plane, all fear vanished, which was so weird because before then I was hyper anxiety ridden, And I get on the plane. I fly to Delhi. From Delhi, I fly to Bangalore, where Ruth was. And on the way, I had looked at my emails, and Ruth had emailed me back and said, "Janie, yay, I'll have about 20 girls for you to teach how to make jewelry. We're so excited." And I get to Bangalore, and I walk into this room. It was so dirty. I mean, it was so hot. It must have been 100 degrees in that room. But these beautiful girls and their smiling faces, and Ruth looks at me and she goes, "Janie, they wore their very best dress." And I looked at her and I went, "Wow." And she said, "Janie, they wore their only dress." And I went, "Whoa, got you, Ruth." And Ruth explained to me that these girls were so poor and they lived in these little huts, that at night so the rats wouldn't eat their feet. They would go sleep by the side of the highway because the cars would scare the rats away. And I am like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And so for that whole week, I taught all of these girls. We sat on the floor and we made this jewelry, and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so great for them. This is so great for them. And then at the end of the week, I decided, okay, I'm going to start this jewelry club, and I called it the Janny Ma Jewelry Club, and I said, the best of you are going to graduate. Of course, I graduated everybody, and you will be part of the jewelry club, and you can send your jewelry to me, and I'll send it to my girlfriends, and we'll make all this money, and we'll send it back, and you'll make this jewelry, and we'll just have this great thing. And we did that. But the greatest thing that we did, or that happened to me, was at the end of the week when I was leaving. None of them spoke any English. But at the end of the week, they all stood up and they said, together in unison, "We love you, Janny Ma." And when they said that, I realized that they weren't the lucky ones. I had been the lucky one. I was the one who got to see these beautiful angels who had absolutely nothing walk in every day, acting as if they had had everything, and being so filled with gratitude and so thankful for every moment that they got to spend with me. And, you know, for any of you, when life presents something, you know, you don't always have to know how it's going to turn out. Just stay open to what is appearing now, because when you stay open to what is appearing now, that is where the magic is. That is where the gifts are.